Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 584 based on novel. So let's start. Life and death, karma, true and false, fire, water, thunder. 6 essences gathered to begin this slaughter. The volcano collapsed, the thunder exploded, and the mouthful of blood water essence turned into gas. The 3 ethereal essence swords rushed in as Shuetsai's roar echoed. As the rumbles echoed, Shuetsai was covered in a light as he coughed out blood. He was in a sorry state and his face was pale as he retreated. There was a lantern floating above his head, and the light around his body came from it. This treasure had protected him, so Shuetsai was only injured and hadn't died to the 6 essences. Killing a void turbulent cultivator was difficult, and Wang Lin had already experienced it. Seeing Shuetsai escape the first round of attacks, Wang Lin felt somewhat disappointed, but he was not discouraged. This was all expected. Shuetsai was much more difficult than Liu Jiyuan, so Wang Lin absolutely could not give him any time to breathe. Once Shuetsai had a chance to use his terrifying casting speed, Wang Lin would not be able to resist. At that point, this slaughter field would not be prepared to kill the other party but himself instead. Wang Lin was very clear about this point, so when Shuetsai stared at the strange lamp, Wang Lin raised his hand without hesitation. He used the stop spell despite the backlash he would suffer. Stop! With one word, a huge wave was set off in Wang Lin's body. The gap in their cultivation levels was quite large, so he had to pay a big price to stop Shuetsai. At this moment, he coughed out blood, but his expression became even more fierce. Under the stop spell, just as Shuetsai raised his right hand, his whole body trembled. He faintly felt countless threads wrap around him from all sides and enter his body to limit his movement. Even the lantern above him became dim. Even its connection with Shuetsai was stopped by the stop spell. However, Shuetsai's cultivation level was much higher than Wang Lin's, so the stop spell was only able to stop him for a moment. However, this moment allowed Wang Lin to interrupt Shuetsai's casting and resistance, giving Wang Lin the chance to launch the second round of attacks. The moment Wang Lin spoke, he waved his sleeve and the countless black snowflakes seemed to be swept by a violent gust of wind toward Shuetsai. Even the dark snow on the earth was lifted by the wind toward Shuetsai. This black snow was formed by Wang Lin's restriction essence, and every snowflake contained countless restrictions. At this moment, all the snow in the world surrounded Shuetsai and launched a siege. All of this happened in an instant. Shuetsai suddenly recovered. His pupils shrank and were filled with fear. This? What kind of spell is this? It can freeze all my actions and intentions, even most of my thoughts were frozen. I have never seen a spell like that. After he regained his movement, he quickly retreated and raised his right hand. Stop! Wang Lin roared and pointed once more. This time, Wang Lin coughed out a mouthful of blood and his face was pale but extremely fierce. Shuetsai, who had just regained his freedom, froze once more. For the first time, fear appeared in his eyes. Black snow fell from the dark clouds, and the dark clouds were formed by Wang Lin's ghostly sail. The reason the ghostly sail was the strongest treasure of the Great Soul sect was its ability to ignore cultivation level and disturb one's mind. At this moment, the dark clouds in the sky rumbled and descended rapidly to form the back of a woman in white. The woman was weeping. The sound of her weeping would pierce the heart and make one's skin crawl. This woman was not a person, but a ghost. At this moment, Wang Lin summoned the ghost that turned human. Just as Shuetsai regained his freedom, he saw the dark clouds turn into the woman in white. The figure of the woman in white appeared in his mind as well. Shuetsai's eyes became confused. At this moment, Wang Lin waved his sleeve and the earth rumbled. The 30 million Dao souls that had fused with the ground rushed out like strands of black gas toward Shuetsai. Soon, the 30 million Dao souls brought Shuetsai's body that was covered in black snow toward the sky. The blue sky was Wang Lin's blue umbrella. Not only was it a powerful defense, it could also launch a powerful attack. From a distance, it looked like Shuetsai's body was being taken into the sky like a meteor. When he was brought close to the blue sky, Wang Lin let out a roar. Kill! Thunderous rumbles echoed as the blue sky collapsed and the 30 million Dao souls all attacked. All of this destructive force went toward Shuetsai, who was in the center. At the same time, the woman in white's weeping led Shuetsai into a dream. Wang Lin didn't have time to look at the result. Early-stage void turbulent cultivators were too difficult to kill. Such people were all famous, and fighting them meant that he couldn't relax for a moment. Wang Lin's fire essence true body appeared behind him and he pointed at the sky. 7-colored spell. As his words echoed, the world was covered in 7-colored light. The 7-colored light condensed into 2 lances, and the one in the back was covered in fire. They shot out one after the other toward Shuetsai in the collapsed sky. War Spirit Print. Wang Lin's voice was hoarse as his palm pushed toward the sky. A giant palm print appeared and another fire palm print appeared. Both flew toward Shuetsai. Realm Burning Umbrella. Wang Lin let out a roar and both his hands moved, forming countless restrictions. A giant, open, fire ancient umbrella appeared, and behind it, another one appeared. Both umbrellas closed at the same time, releasing double the amount of destructive fire. Call the wind, summon the rain. Magic Arsenal. Lands collapse, mountains crumble. Dark moon, clear skies. Wang Lin used almost every spell he knew. As his hands formed seals, he used by Fan's dark moon, clear skies. A dark moon suddenly appeared in the sky. One could vaguely see another dark moon hidden behind the first moon. This was a double moon. Thunderous rumbles echoed across the world as a miserable cry echoed. Under the collapsed black snow, the 2 7-colored lances shot through the sky. The war spirit prints descended as well, and in the end, the 2 dark moons imprinted on Shuetsai's body. Shuetsai coughed out blood and his right hand exploded. He looked like he was a dried-up oil lamp and was seriously injured. If not for the lantern above his head, he would have died to the second round of attacks Wang Lin had prepared. At this moment, the fire inside the lantern above his head flickered as if was about to extinguish. Shuetsai's eyes were filled with monstrous fear upon feeling the looming threat of death shroud him. This was something he hadn't felt in a long time. As long as I have a chance. As long as I have a chance. Shuetsai's clothes were dyed red from blood. Fear and madness filled his eyes as he retreated back. 1 step, 2 steps. He was about to take the 3rd step. Stop! Wang Lin was also risking it all. He coughed out blood and used the stop spell for the 3rd time. Shuetsai's body trembled and his eyes were filled with despair. Wang Lin began the 3rd and final round of attacks. Wang Lin charged forward toward the seriously injured Shuetsai. At the same time, a roar filled with endless ferocity came from underground. The fierce Shuetsai puppet that had lost an arm charged out at Shuetsai. Immediately after, the mosquito beast appeared and charged at Shuetsai at full speed. This was Wang Lin's 3rd round of attacks and also where he had to kill Shuetsai. 3 directions, 3 sources of attack gathered with Shuetsai as the center. Shuetsai was the first to close in, and it revealed a cruel smile. It raised its remaining arm and clawed at Shuetsai. With its early-stage void turbulent cultivation, it caused heavy damage to the already seriously injured Shuetsai. Shuetsai let out a miserable scream. His body had recovered for a movement, but then it exploded. It seemed like his body couldn't stand a blow from Shuetsai. Shuetsai's origin soul quickly flew away with the lantern. However, the Mosquito King had been prepared for a long time. At this moment, it closed in and stabbed Shuetsai's origin soul with its mouth and inhaled. Shuetsai's screams became even more intense. If not for the lantern knocking the Mosquito King away, he would have been devoured completely. Just as the lantern's light spread out, Shuetsai was shrouded by the light. Its body released black gas, but the pain didn't force it to retreat. Instead, it made it even more ferocious as it disregarded the pain, and its hand clawed forward. Shuetsai's origin soul let out a miserable scream. He became even weaker. It was at this moment that Wang Lin closed in. Shuetsai had suffered serious injuries. His body had collapsed and his origin soul was almost extinguished. If not for the protection of the unknown magical lantern, he would have died. But this lantern was simply too strange. In order to kill Shuetsai, Wang Lin would have to cut his connection with the lantern. Wang Lin closed in and there was a flash of bloodlight as he grabbed the blood sword. He swung the blood sword down on Shuetsai's head. There was a flash of bloodlight. This cut contained Wang Lin's full cultivation and he used his ancient Dao power without reservation. In the celestial land of the immortal astral continent, Wang Lin was extremely careful with his ancient Dao power. He didn't want too many people to recognize him, as it would make it difficult for him to move here. After all, from his roots, he belonged to the ancient Dao and was not one of the celestials. He had to be careful in the celestial lands. But inside this space stone, he didn't have to worry. As the sword cut down, a giant ancient Dao shadow appeared behind him. This shadow was wearing armor and gave off an ancient aura. The bloodlight flashed as Wang Lin quickly cut the space between the lantern and Shuetsai's head. Shuetsai's origin soul coughed out a large mouthful of origin essence and his origin soul withered. The lantern above his head was hit by the powerful force and was knocked away. The fire inside instantly extinguished. "I'm unwilling." Shuetsai's weakened origin soul let out one last roar as Wang Lin waved his sleeve to launch the last round of devastating blows. Then Wang Lin put Shuetsai's origin soul inside his storage space. After doing all of this, Wang Lin's body trembled and he coughed out blood. He fell from the sky and immediately sat down with his eyes closed to adjust it himself. The Mosquito King circled the area and was vigilant. As for Shuetsai, it moved strangely and charged off into the distance. When it returned, it was holding an arm. This arm was a bloody mess, and it was Shuetsai's arm. Staring at the arm, Shuetsai's eyes were filled with confusion, but soon, fog came from his body and shrouded him. In a flash, 3 days passed. During these 3 days, the Mosquito King tirelessly guarded Wang Lin. Everything was quiet and there wasn't any fluctuation. When the 3rd day was about to end, Wang Lin opened his eyes. He was very tired. He had killed 2 early-stage void turbulent cultivators in a short period of time, so he was very tired. 2 now, still need 8 more. Wang Lin raised his right hand and grasped at the void. A head rapidly flew into his hand. This head belonged to Shuetsai. His soulless eyes were filled with endless fear and despair. After staring at Shuetsai's head for a moment, Wang Lin put it away with Liu Jiyuan's head. "This lantern treasure is very strange," Wang Lin pondered as he looked into the distance and waved his sleeve. The extinguished lantern flew toward him and floated before him. Looking at it, Wang Lin spat a mouthful of essence energy around the lantern and slowly refined it. The fire inside the lantern reignited and gave off a soft glow. With Wang Lin's restriction essence, he completely saw through the treasure. This was a simple protection treasure. It had no offensive power, but its protection was powerful. As long as the fire inside the lantern didn't extinguish, the user's origin soul wouldn't die. You could even nourish the origin soul with it. It was like feeding pills to the origin soul, slowly strengthening it. If it were refined into the body and made to guard one's origin soul, the soft light could surround one's body. This would give the user's body an extra layer of protection. If not for this, Shuetsai would have had difficulty surviving the 2nd round of attacks. Wang Lin opened his mouth and inhaled the lantern. The lantern appeared next to his origin soul and then Wang Lin's body was shrouded in a layer of soft candle light. A warm feeling appeared in Wang Lin's mind. He took a deep breath and excitement filled his eyes. This battle was worth it. The most important thing is the secret to how he could cast spells so quickly. If can grasp it, then my power will increase greatly. Wang Lin had battled against Shuetsai, so he knew how terrifying that cast speed was. With that cast speed, as long as he had the chance, he could put his enemy at a complete disadvantage. The other party would be bombarded by spells without any time to fight back. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he waved his right hand. Shuetsai's seriously injured and extremely weak origin soul appeared in his hand. His origin soul's eyes were closed, as if he was in a coma. It had shrunken to only 3 inches large. He laid quietly in Wang Lin's palm. Starting at this origin soul, Wang Lin's right hand mercilessly squeezed. As his hand squeezed, he used the soul search spell. In truth, it was very difficult to use the soul search spell when the cultivation level gap between them was so great. Only by leaving Shuetsai in this seriously injured state could Wang Lin use the spell freely. All of Shuetsai's memories were searched by Wang Lin without any resistance. Soon, 3 hours passed. Shuetsai had lived for far too long, so trying to find a certain spell in his memory would take a certain amount of time. 3 hours later, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes, and they were filled with ecstasy. Rapid spell art. This Shuetsai encountered a great fortune early in his life. A meteorite fell from the sky and he found a complex engraving it on. After cultivating it, he gained his terrifying casting speed. Wang Lin opened his palm. Shuetsai's origin soul trembled and began to slowly dissipate, seeming like it could collapse at any moment. But after a long time, it didn't collapse or dissipate. Instead, there was a flash of ghostly light, and it was filled with a monstrous resentment. This resentment came from his unwillingness before he died. However, what caused Wang Lin's eyes to narrow was that the resentment reached a certain point and then slowly decreased until it maintained a certain level. Shuetsai's origin soul no longer dissipated and he slowly opened his eyes. The moment his eyes opened and met Wang Lin's gaze, Wang Lin felt his mind rumble and entered a trance. Shuetsai, who was in his palm, flew off into the distance. But Wang Lin soon recovered, and his eyes revealed a strange light along with disbelief. A ghost soul has appeared. Wang Lin had cultivated the multi-layered illusion spell, so he had a good understanding of ghost souls and how they were created. It had nothing to do with cultivation and was extremely rare. The only way to create one was with the method form the Great Soul Sect, but the qualities would be very low. At most, they could only make medium-quality ghost sales. He understood that a dead person or beast that could form its own ghost soul was a great fortune to someone who cultivated the multi-layered illusion spell. Wang Lin's heartbeat accelerated. This sudden surprise shocked him, and he chased after the ghost soul that Shuetsai had formed. He was feeling an indescribable excitement. A mere ghost soul couldn't escape Wang Lin at all. Wang Lin had even dared to kill him when he was alive, so he was certainly not afraid of him after he was dead. Wang Lin returned in an instant and in his hand he held a struggling ghost soul. Wang Lin put the ghost soul into his storage space. This would be of great use to him. After doing this, Wang Lin took a deep breath and calmly studied the rapid spell art he had obtained from Shuetsai's memory. This art walked an extreme path and allowed one to cast spells at a terrifying degree. The key was opening up 9 spell veins in one's body. Every spell vein would increase one's casting speed greatly. Shuetsai had already opened up 7 spell veins. The so-called spell vein was the name the rapid spell arts use. In truth, it was a special method used with the cost of sealing to create speed up the rate of casting spells. Sealing a cultivator's origin soul in the body to form a vortex. Why does this feel similar to some of the ancient clan spells? When Wang Lin was studying the rapid spell art, this thought came into his mind. The more he looked, the more clear this idea became. In the end, he determined that this art was not exclusive to cultivator spells. If it were used with the ancient clan's body, it would become even more terrifying. Unfortunately, I don't have extra origin souls, Wang Lin pondered as he memorized the rapid spell art and fully comprehended it. He then stood up and waved his right hand. The ground trembled and a gourd fell into his hands. Most of the 30 million Dao souls were still there. This treasure didn't suffer much losses. Wang Lin also put away the blue umbrella from the sky along with the Mosquito King. The Yi Sai that was fusing with Shuetsai's arm was also put back into Wang Lin's storage space. After doing all of this, Wang Lin's eyes revealed a flash of coldness. It's time to go back. His body flickered and disappeared from this broken space. Several days had passed, but there was still intense killing intent across the extreme sky prairie. The cultivators that had survived all had high cultivation levels, making killing them more difficult, and the slaughter lasted even longer. Inside the fog, ordinary cultivators would be almost already crazy with bloodshot eyes as they cast various spells inside the fog. The two mid-stage Void Turbulent cultivators fought off the combined attack of Lu Wenran and several early-stage Void Turbulent cultivators. Not far away, the remaining two female early-stage Void Turbulent cultivators from the Green Devil continent were battling the Great Soul Sect's elders Yanglu and Shudongda. The Green Devil continent's power had been reduced greatly after losing two early-stage Void Turbulent cultivators. The pressure on the two mid-stage Void Turbulent old monsters became even stronger as they had to face more people. Several days later, the two mid-stage Void Turbulent old monsters were in a sorry stage. They almost could not keep up anymore. This slaughter didn't have as many cultivators as the first time, so the range of the battle was not too large, only a few hundred kilometers. About 100,000 kilometers from the battlefield, it was still covered in fog. There was a stone lying in the mud and grass. At this moment, there was a burst of light and Wang Lin's figure appeared. The sky was dark, shrouded by fog. The rain from several days ago hadn't stopped but had weakened a lot. It had fused with the fog, making it very humid. Wang Lin picked up the space stone and put it inside his storage space. Wang Lin looked into the distance and there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. After I enter the space stone, it remains in the same place. This is very dangerous, and unless I have to, it's best not to use it again. Wang Lin's body flickered as ripples echoed and he disappeared. When he reappeared, he was outside the battlefield. Here, he could feel the fluctuations of spells and smell the faint scent of death. As long as there were large battles, there would be countless deaths on both sides. Wang Lin had grown tired of these kinds of battles and didn't want to participate much. He had no sense of longing that would make him want to roar. Cultivators like us never shrink from a fight. He was only here to complete the 3 conditions old ancestor Green Bull had set to repay the Great Soul Sect for those 3 gifts. This was Wang Lin's personality, he repaid kindness shown to him. Right now is not a good time to fight against Void Turbulent cultivators. But if one of them becomes seriously injured, then perhaps I can get lucky. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and his body became smoke as he got closer and closer to the battlefield. As he closed in, the fluctuations of spells became even stronger and the aura of death became more intense. He could even faintly hear the sounds of treasures and spells colliding. This battlefield is a good place to capture origin souls to seal in my body for the rapid spell art. Wang Lin got closer and closer to the battlefield. Shortly after, he burst into the battlefield. Thunderous rumbles and fluctuations from spells came from all directions, along with colorful flashes of lights. There were originally 6,000 to 7,000 cultivators from both sides, but now there were less than 4,000 remaining. Their eyes were bloodshot as they engaged in a brutal battle. Wang Lin saw cultivators from the Green Devil continent die and he saw cultivators from the Heavenly Bull continent die, but he didn't act. He didn't want to participate in this killing. In his view, whether it was the Heavenly Bull continent or the Green Devil continent, one was just as bad as the other, there was no difference between them. In a flash, Wang Lin charged into the depths of the battlefield. Shortly after, Wang Lin turned to look toward the right. In the fog, there were 2 cultivators fighting, and the one on the losing end was facing many dangerous situations. The old man from the Green Devil continent was at the mid-stage of Arcane Void and his attacks were vicious. It's him. Wang Lin looked at the cultivator that was retreating. He had some impression of him. He was the old man that had appeared on the extreme sky prairie. This old man was in a sorry state and his face was pale. Blood was flowing out from the corner of his mouth, but his expression was determined. After taking a few glances, Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he charged forward. The cultivator hunting the old man had a fierce expression and he waved his arms. The 2 giant illusions around him chased after the old man. You have been battling against me for so long, now die for me. The cultivator raised his hand and pointed forward. The 2 large illusions sped out and were about to catch up to the old man. The old man let out a sigh. He had somewhat seen through life and death. He had seen a lot of friends die in this battle, and now it was his turn. There was a sliver of sadness within him, but even more so, he felt relief. However, it was impossible for him to just die doing nothing. There was a flash of coldness as he prepared to blow himself up. This was the last thing he could do for his hometown before his death as a cultivator of the Heavenly Bull continent. This old man was born in the Heavenly Bull continent. My entire cultivation came from the Heavenly Bull continent, and now I'll return everything to the Heavenly Bull continent. I have no regrets. The old man's eyes were calm as he turned around. However, just as he was about to explode, his pupils shrank as he saw a shadow appear between him and the cultivator chasing him. This was a figure with white hair wearing white. Wang Lin silently appeared and causally waved his hand. The fog in the area rumbled, then the two illusions trembled and suddenly collapsed. The collapse of the two illusions caused the expression of the Green Devil Continent cultivator to change greatly. It wasn't that his spell was invincible, but for the other party to break it so easily meant only one thing. At the weakest, this person was a void turbulent cultivator. Thoughts flashed through his mind and the Green Devil Continent cultivator felt his scalp go numb. He retreated without hesitation and was about to flee this place. Wang Lin let out a cold snort and took one step. He directly appeared a few thousand feet away right in front of the Green Devil Continent cultivator. His palm descended like Mount Tai, and the cultivator didn't have any chance to resist as Wang Lin's hand pressed against his head. The cultivator collapsed and shattered into pieces. His origin soul was surrounded by a force and pulled out from the collapsed body. Wang Lin rapidly placed seals on the origin soul and then pressed it against his own chest. The origin soul disappeared, but a vortex appeared in Wang Lin's body. This vortex was the beginning of a spell vein Wang Lin had opened up according to the rapid spell art. All of this happened very fast and ended in a flash. The old man stared dumbfoundedly as he watched Wang Lin disappear. After a long time, he took a deep breath. He is the elder of the Great Soul Sect. The old man had met Wang Lin in the underground palace and recognized him. However, looking at Wang Lin's long, white hair, white robe, and that cold aura, the old man felt like he had met Wang Lin somewhere before. Wang Lin moved through the fog and continued to move toward where the void turbulent cultivators were battling. Any arcane void cultivators he met would be immediately killed by him. He would seal their origin souls in his body to strengthen the first spell vein. Wang Lin vaguely understood the principle of the rapid spell art. He would have to constantly seal origin souls of cultivators so that they form a vortex. The rotation of the vortex would then reach an extreme speed. The more cultivators and the higher the cultivation level, the faster the vortex would be. As a result, when Wang Lin needed to use it, the speed of his spells would increase in proportion as well. However, there was a limit. Along the way, Wang Lin had sealed a total of 9 origin souls by the time he got near where the void turbulent cultivators were battling. He could no longer seal any more and couldn't form a second spell vein. This was explained in the rapid spell art, and after Wang Lin experienced it himself, he gained a profound understanding. If he wanted to form the second spell vein, he would need the origin soul of even stronger cultivator. Unless he could be like Shuetsai and start sealing from the Nirvana Void stage, the power would be a lot weaker. The vortex Wang Lin had formed now was stronger than 4 of Shuetsai's vortexes. One could see the vast distance in strength. Arcane turbulent cultivators should allow my second spell vein to form, but there aren't many arcane turbulent cultivators here. Wang Lin looked at the fog before him, where all the void turbulent cultivators were battling. After looking for a moment, Wang Lin frowned. It would be very difficult for any of them to become seriously injured. The Green Devil Continent cultivators have taken some unknown pills that allow them to confront the fog and also enhance their power. Since it's like this, it's better to find the arcane turbulent cultivators first. Wang Lin pondered and was about to quickly leave when his expression suddenly changed. Without hesitation, Wang Lin charged forward at full speed. When he charged out 30 feet, a ray of green light landed where he had been standing. The earth trembled and a thunderous rumble spread. Even the fog seemed to show signs of collapse after being hit by the green light. This blow created a powerful shockwave that pushed Wang Lin far away. If not for the fact that Wang Lin had noticed it in time, that blow would have seriously injured him. Wang Lin didn't turn around, but he felt the hair on his body stand up. He felt a divine sense locked onto him, and he rushed forward. Ripples echoed under his feet and he was about to merge with the world. Seal. However, at this moment, a cold voice echoed and the world seemed to become sealed. Wang Lin was unable to merge with it. Mid-stage void turbulent old monster. Wang Lin judged the cultivation level of the person who had locked onto him. He clenched his teeth and no longer tried to merge with the world. He summoned the Mosquito King that carried him away. Behind Wang Lin, the old man named Zhong who was battling against Lu Wenran and company stared at where Wang Lin escaped to. Killing intent appeared in his eyes and he left to chase Wang Lin, disregarding the situation of the battle. This old man Zhong Daozhong has been waiting for you for several days, and you finally came out, you little fox. You killed Liu Jiyuan, so I need to appease the sect master's anger. Wang Lin didn't say a word and flew more than 100,000 feet away with the Mosquito King. However, Zhong Daozhong was even faster, so in an instant, the distance between them was less than 1,000 feet. This video will end here.